Hello and welcome to the Catholic Family Podcast. No, this is the Catholic Wire. This is Father Cepeda here, and someone asked me to make a video on about Halloween, and this is not exactly that. This is more a video for my parishioners, but I thought people would be interested in that case. Halloween, quickly, I would say, as Catholics, we shouldn't do it. Many reasons for that. But the thing is, if you're not going to do that, you really need to fill that gap with kids. Now, recently I had read that the real way in which All Hallows Eve was done was that kids would go asking for a certain kind of treat that was kind of like a bread, I think. And when they received that, they would in exchange go and pray for the faithful departed of that family. So for my parishioners, the plan here, what we're going to try to do, as you've heard from me before, we're going to try to do a kermesse. That's like a feria. There's like a festival, kind of like an Oktoberfest, you could say, here at the church. Now, how is that going to work? What are we going to do? Well, there's different kinds of ways in which you can participate. First, you can come just like a retired couple, whoever you are, you can come set up a couple patio chairs, a little bonfire thingy, not a bonfire like on the ground because we have grass, but some kind of thing to keep you warm. And have your little candies, treats, whatever. Pop up some hot chocolate, whatever you want to drink there. And you just go and just make almost like a tailgate party, but in our lawn, right? In our area. That's where we're going to have fun. So the kids can come and they can ask you for a trick or treat, you could say. There's no trick. But what's going to happen is when you give them the candy, then they're going to go and pray right out of the bat. They're going to go and pray at the grotto for your souls, for the faithful departed. So you got to tell them, here's the candy. You got to go pray 3 Hail Marys for the souls of my family, of my faithful departed. And so that way the kids get their treats, but they also do something Catholic about it, and they're praying for your faithful departed, as it used to be, as I read, or supposedly. And if it wasn't like that, I don't care. This is still a good idea, so we can do it. So that's one way in which you can participate. Come, I beg you to come, even if you're, again, retired and you don't have any children, still come so that you can depart with other people, have fun. The other way in which we can participate is obviously with bringing the kids and having some supervision. And also, you can volunteer to host a stand. So in a kermesse, you have different stands with different games. And we're going to try to have different stands with, so for example, one of the stands is going to be target practice. You would volunteer to set up that stand, make up a little bit of targets, rigged so that people don't get that many prizes. Maybe that's just a joke. And then the kids can come, or the young people can come and shoot them with the little orb guns that they have. Depending on what they shoot, they get prizes. What we're going to have is each stand is going to give tickets. And so the kids collect the tickets, and then they're going to go to a stand that has all the prizes where they can exchange the number of tickets for prizes. So one of the stands is going to be targets. The other one is going to be a bingo or a loteria, depending on what you want to do. So, sorry, I had to pause because I was looking at the stuff. So there's all these different stands. You can sign up for one. I'll send you the link to my parishioners on a different email. And then you can sign up for the stand. You take care of that stand. That means that you come, you set it up. We would start setting up like at 1 p.m. so that the party begins at 4 p.m. And then after you're done, you pick up everything and you get out of, you leave everything as it was, or rather everything clean. We can only do this, something like that, with the help of the families. And so we really hope that some people sign up for different stands. So here's the different things that we can have. Someone can sign up to supervise the children as they do some pumpkin carving, nothing macabre, only good and holy, or just good and wholesome things, right? Another person can sign up to handle a bonfire where they can have s'mores and all that kind of stuff. Just make sure that you supervise it, that there's no children, running around it or so whatever. Another person volunteers for the stand for gifts to manage that, make sure that they exchange the gifts and all that stuff. Another one would volunteer for a stand for the bingo or loteria, where again the prize is going to be tickets for the winners. Another one, darts. We can put a stand with darts and you can, make points there and get tickets according to that. Another stand was the one that I said of target practice. Another one would be karaoke. You can have a karaoke that those songs we would have to have a list that is pre-approved where people can go and sing there at the stand. If you want to come and cook some stuff, that would be great also. There's also another stand. This is a Kermes from Mexico thing. I don't know if it would hit in here. It's a marriage stand. So you put in there a table and you're supposed to be like the person marrying people, and then a couple people can go and with a rope grab two people together, bring them over, and then they can get married. Obviously, all modesty is kept, nothing other than just a innocent joke. And then when they supposedly get married, then you have to tell them a horrible list of things that's going to happen. They're going to have to pay this, and they're going to have to pay that, and they're going to have to buy the car, and just make all the jokes that you want there, as long as, again, they're all proper. And it's a good way to kind of have the children make jokes and maybe throw a hint there if they're in a marriable age. We will need someone else to volunteer to set up lights around the area of the lawn so that people can see the stands. Maybe we could have like a cable that has lights on every stand. And in our case here, we're going to try to have some kind of attraction like a riding bull or an inflatable or something. And so we will need someone else to supervise for that. So there's so many things that you could do. If you have any ideas for another stand, feel free to reach out to me. But that's the idea. It's going to be done on the very day of Halloween so that our children don't go there and instead they come here and they have a celebration in a good Catholic way. Do we allow customs? Yeah, we will allow them to have customs, but they can only be customs of a saint or customs of a historical figure, preferably a good wholesome historical figure, even if it's not a saint. So that's the idea. For my parishioners, I'm throwing it out there, but maybe someone else is interested in doing something like that at home, in your home parish, obviously with the approval of your priest. I can already see the comments coming, criticizing how I'm celebrating Halloween. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is giving something to our children so that they don't go celebrate Halloween, and instead they come and have a good Catholic way to have fun. So please, to my parishioners, make sure you sign up for that. Put the effort. I know that is a little bit of work, but it's worth for our families, for our children. It's not just for children. This event, I actually wanted to be more oriented to young adults so that we have a place to get together, to meet, the karaoke thing, and many other fun things that we can do. But I cannot put them in a public video. So we will figure that out later. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me or sister. And if you're in some other parish, be sorry that you're not in such a fun parish. And maybe emulation again and go ahead and try to do something like that in your own parish to get everyone out of that celebration of Halloween. Thank you so much. God bless you. This is Father Cepeda.